Finding those levels, too. Look at that four-punch combination.
It's a masterclass right now from Shakur Stevenson. That's what you're seeing. A masterclass. And Shakur meets him with a straight left hand.
Oh, and there's a knockdown score with the left hand.
Right now, we're going to give him his just due. Shout out to my brother, Just Due.
What's good? What's good? Salute to the fam. How y'all feeling on this good Tuesday? We here a little bit earlier than planned, but you know, we still gonna talk this boxing and give it its just due how we always do, man. I was having a interesting conversation the other day that made me want to come up here and talk a little bit about a few things, man. We're gonna get to it though, man. Hit the like button for your boy on the way in. Sub to the channel if you're new. We gonna talk about it, man. Some things to talk about today, and we gonna get to it. Shout out to my homie Think, man. I see you, man, in the building. Said they finna be mad at you today. Nah, they won't though. They won't, because the conversation not gonna go the way people, you know, typically take it when they have, you know, conversations or topics regarding Gervonta Davis. I'm just it's a different kind of guy, man. I see things differently than most of these fans, man. And you know, I think with this conversation today, it's going to dictate that. It's going to let you know that the way I think versus the way a lot of other people think is a lot different. You get me? Because the thing about me is I'm a true supporter. I like to really call myself that because I think that's how I give it up, man. That's how I approach it. And a lot of times in boxing, you know, fight fans, and you know, they feel like because they pay the money, oh well, we the ones that get you rich, or we the reason you got money, you know, and that's true to a degree, but you're only one person. You know what I mean? Each person is one individual, and you know, it's only so much one could do for a boxer alone, right? You need a collective effort. Take a real fan base, a real support system for these guys to make it to the level that they're at. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in like, you know, what they want. And you know, listen, I get it, because you feel like, well, when I pay my money, I want it, you know, I want what I want. But people don't realize that when these fights are put together, you're not forced to you know, you're not forced to have to support it. You're not forced to watch it. If it's a pay-per-view, you're not forced to buy it. You get me? You're just not. So I think people just get, you know, lost and caught up into what they want, and they become what I call a selfish fan. And why I say that, because regardless of what money that you think you spend on boxing, no matter what support you think you give to a fighter, if it's true, genuine support, then you just support the journey and you stop, you know, pushing these narratives and these talking points that tear these fighters down. And I think that's what happens a lot of times with guys like Tank Davis, you know, in a position that he's in and not doing what some of these people want him to do, in the way they write him off and the way they dismiss him as a talent. But, you know, I got a perspective on, you know, why I feel like one of the driving forces are of multiple reasons as to why he may have not unified with any of these other guys. And, you know, you're going to have to put your ears on for this one. You could tell him, I know he's much bigger than he is. I'm down to weight to dominate boxers. Smaller. Christian was good with it. Shit, you let Devin Haney tell it. He thinks Brian Norman Jr. is a small guy. That's what he said. He said he's a small Man, pardon me. He said he looked small. All right, but yeah, we're gonna get to this, man. I know I'm a little earlier than 4 o'clock, but you know, we building, man. We just gonna have us a good, honest conversation. Like I said, I was talking about this the other night, and it made me want to, like, you know, talk to the people a little bit, man, because I have like I said, a different perspective on Tank Davis and his career. You know, I'm not here to slander or like tear down, but I like I said, I think you gotta put your ears on for this one because it's gonna be an interesting conversation, none the least. Gotta put the ears on for this one, and it's not gonna be what most people think it's gonna be in terms of like that's typical narrative driven shit. It ain't gonna be that. You know, Don, what it do? Tank trash, weak minded, dark street, PVC coward. See, that's the stuff that I can't get with, man. The Butcher, what it do, homie? How you feeling? Cal Cooler, what it was good with it? Think about it, man. Like this is this like straight up. Look, I respect everybody and their opinions, but this is right here. This is what brought me here. See stuff like this, cowards. We calling world-class athletes cowards. You get what I'm saying? And ducks and different things like that. So it's just to each his own. But like I said, I got what I feel like is a fair conversation surrounding the topic at hand, and we're gonna get to it. I see things totally different. First things first, this is me. You stepping inside that square circle, and you chose boxing as a profession, as a job. That means you accept taking punishment, wear and tear, getting punched in the face. So for me, that right off the bat lets me know what kind of fighter you are, what kind of individual you are. There are no cowards in boxing. I'm going to be very clear when I say that. I'm going to repeat it again. This is coming from a real one. There are no cowards in boxing. Yeah, you could say, you know, guys are different levels and different things like that. You could say some guys move totally different than others, and I get that. But at its core, I mean, I think anybody that steps inside the square circle is a real one. You get what I'm saying? If boxing was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would do it. If boxing was, you know, just some shit that was like riding a bike, everybody like all the shit people talk, all the trash people talk on Twitter, it wouldn't even be no such thing as trolls if boxing was as easy as what people make it seem. So for me, just right off the bat, this is what brings me here because listen, I understand it, yo. When you want to see a certain fight or certain particular fights and you're not getting it, yeah, it's a certain frustration that grows within you as a fight fan because you like, man, why this dude won't fight X? Why he won't fight Y? Why he won't fight Z? But people don't really take time to really peel back their layers and maybe get into why these fights may or may not have happened. And like I said before, man, it's easy to look at a fighter and point the finger and say, hey, man, you the reason or you at blame. But I think it's a lot deeper than that, man. I think, you know, we forget what these guys want or we don't even take into account what these guys want for themselves. We always talk about, yeah, well, I want you to fight this one. Well, I want you to do it this way. Well, I want you to sign over here. Well, I want you to sign over there. Why you resign here? Why you ain't go over here? Why you messing with him? Why you working with him? It's like we've gotten to a point in boxing where we think we can determine everything these guys do because you paid your little funky ass dollars to watch a pay-per-view. And let's be honest, everybody don't fight on pay-per-view. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes we be complaining about free fights. And you got to take into account these are these individuals' careers that we talking about. Just because you support, if you really support them, then you'll support the moves they make. You'll stop getting caught up in thinking you can dictate what move a fighter should make next. And if they don't do what you think they should do at home, then now they become cowards. Now they're ducks. Now they don't want to fight. And I think that's exactly what's wrong with boxing. You get what I'm saying? It's a lot of good shit that's being done in boxing, but it's being overlooked and drowned out with BS because people claim they're not seeing what they want to see. And that's why I say, man, boxing is a choice. we're not forced to watch these fights. We're not forced to spend our money. If somebody's not giving you your money's worth, then just don't then so be it, right? But to get up, wake up, and create these narratives and these different talking points and right just disrespect the overall sport is crazy to me, man. I really got a different respect for these guys because I see the work that they put in. You get what I'm saying? You already know. Shout out to my dog Cal Cooley, man. Blessings, Brody. Shout out to you, man. Locked and loaded was good with it. So you can't take a loss. Mental not there. Look, we're gonna talk about it. So for me, right, you know, the conversation comes up a lot. You know, why Tank Davis ain't unified, why he ain't fighting none of the other champions. You know, he been there since what is it, 2019, been a lightweight. X, Y, and Z. He's had the, you know, the WBA title. And he's never, you know, tried to fight this one or fight that one. And look, some of those things or those thoughts are understood. I get it. You like, damn, he did. There were like, it's been a lot of time. You've been there for some years. It's like, you ain't, why not? You can get the fights you want. You are the guy, right? Make somebody an offer, X, Y, and Z. And I think all those things are true. I think that's true to an extent, right? Yeah, you could say, yeah, you could ask for a name. He could ask for this one. He could ask for that one. But he said it to you, and he told us before. He don't have to do that, and he don't do it. He said whoever, he line him up, he knock him down. I know people going to say, well, he had a list and blah, blah, blah. I get it, man. But don't ever forget that this shit is entertainment. And I don't think people take into account how fucking hard it would be for any of these dudes that had a list for them to actually be able to get through that list. I don't think people have no idea in today's boxing how difficult that'd be. Same thing with the list Devin Haney had. Shakur Stevenson had a shirt with several names on it. How hard would it be for him to complete that task? So don't forget, these dudes, like, it's an entertainment aspect that we just disregard, and we treat it like every single thing that comes out of their mouth, it has to happen exactly next, right when they say it. If it don't, they cowards, they ducks, they don't want to fight, they this, they're that. I think all of that is BS, man. Boxing is a business, and the one thing I know for sure, the business of boxing is always going business. You get me? If that makes sense to you, it's always going to be there. It's never going to be as simple as them calling all the shots, because they don't. So if you're a guy in Tank shoes, right? And like I said, you got to put your ears on for this one, because this shit ain't about excuses. This shit ain't about narratives. This is about giving this man his just due. And I found a way to do that. This is who I am. These are the kind of conversations that I like to have, where I could find a way to understand that fighter in my own way and give him his credit because of it. So just think about something, bro. You got people running around here telling you that Tank is a coward, he a duck, he a hype job, he a 30-year-old prospect, you name it, they've said it, right? All meanwhile demanding that this guy fight the absolute best in the world, right? And my response to that is, if this guy was a coward, if this guy was a duck, if he wasn't who they said he was and all of these different things, then why in the hell would you want to see that guy fight the other top tier talent to begin with? That's my question for those slanderous ass people. Not the ones that have fair criticism, not those people. Just the ones that slander. If he all X, Y, why do you want to see a coward fight top guys? Something ain't adding up. There's a reason that you want to see him fight these other champions. There's a reason for it. And that's because you want to see just how cold he is. You want to see if he is as good as what his biggest fans say he is. And the only way to find that out is to make those other fights, preferably with the other champions at the division. That's understood. That's all understood. But I'm telling you, I'm about to rewind. I'm about to take y'all on a ride. So bring your ears on. Bring your ears for this conversation. Put all the toxic boxing talk to the side and just listen to a real one. Talk some real shit. Simple and plain. Jamel, what it do, homie? How you feeling? Shout out to you. So let's keep it rolling. So we all know, or at least we understand to a degree, the backstory of Tank Davis, right? As much as we can from the information that we come across and the different things that we heard and been told, right? You know, it's no secret that he had it hard coming up, right? And this shit ain't about none of that. This just is an honest conversation. He's been a guy or a kid that came up rough, right? A lot of us have, right? You know, it came up rough in them Baltimore streets. Get what I'm saying? Probably couch to couch, floor to floor, homelessness. It's a lot of shit that he dealt with, right? And I'm going somewhere with this, so just pay attention. You know what I mean? So just think about what you get me. Like think about the mentality of a person that is constantly in the streets. You seeing different people die. You get what I'm saying? Not make it. You seeing people box, get killed, not make it, have a shit ton of talent. Think about the amount of losses that he's seen on his journey to where he's currently at right now. But on that way there, you constantly looking for what? A way out, right? You're looking for a way out. Some people are able to get into boxing, and I'll use my guy as a prime example. I'm not saying he didn't have it tough, but Shakur Stevenson had a different route, right? You get what I'm saying? He was able to have that Olympic experience, and really it molded him to think a different way. But if you a Tank Davis and you dealing with homelessness and, you know, trying to get up out the streets and you want to see all your people good and you trying to beat the odds that you've seen so many people fall victim to, you using boxing as a means to get money and get out of that situation. By any means necessary, you discover that you actually cold at this shit. You nice. And you doing your thing and you taking it where you need to take it. You go through the amateur system, right? And you turn professional. But before you do that, you link with one of the best fighters that you got to watch in a Floyd Mayweather. So I just want people to understand what I believe is the mentality of a guy that's trying to beat a different kind of odds. And I ain't saying most people's situations ain't that, but just think about it. What you come from, what you seen, who you lost, who was on the journey with you that ain't make it to where you at right now. Think this dude always was using boxing as an outlet to get away from the streets, to better his situation and the people around him. And I think to me that burden got heavy to the point where this guy ain't sitting up here thinking about, you know, what the average fan ideal of greatness is for itself. If you ask me, I'm thinking he like, bro, if I make it out of the streets, for you get what I'm saying? If I make it to a certain age, I done beat the odds. You get what I'm saying? Let alone becoming a damn world champion at, what was he, 2022 or whatever the case. But you get me? I think he used boxing as an outlet, like most do, like a lot do, though, to get out of his situation. So, you know, while you got some guys that they come up different, maybe they got a lineage of family that they come from a boxing where they just bred doing this shit. And maybe their thoughts a little bit different. Maybe they thinking about collecting belts. Like, think about the mentality of somebody that's in the Olympics. They trying to capture that gold at the end. So it wouldn't surprise me that them as a professional is a guy that'll be chasing titles and different things like that, right? That system, that upbringing taught you to chase greatness in that way. You get what I'm saying? But I think if you a guy that's coming from a poverty-driven situation and you finally get to a point where you're recognizable, you done signed with one of the biggest names in boxing, one of the best fighters ever in a Floyd Mayweather. What kind of game you think he teaching him? What did Floyd Mayweather show us for the back half of his career? When he was Money Mayweather, he was about that bread. So just think about the advice, think about the conversations that he having with a Tank Davis. This ain't about excuses and none of that. This is just a real conversation. Just think about what he was being taught and told, molded to make what? That money. And if you're a young guy that slept on floors, and you get what I'm saying, pillar to post or couch to couch, and you looking at the money and the cars, and this guy's showing you what you could be doing if you get right. You get what I'm saying? So I think the way he was groomed, for lack of a better term, right? The way he was molded, if you want to say that, right? I think it wasn't instilled for him, hey man, you know, chase these belts, you know, Yeah, we got to unify with these champions. Yeah, you got to be undisputed. Yeah, you got to be unified. You got to chase all the belts. That just wasn't his path. And I know that's a tough pill to swallow, but so be it, because I'm going to talk some real shit today. I just think when you come up with a guy that showed you in the back half of his career, his mentality was about what? Chasing that bag and making that money. Now, although he did have a pretty boy Mayweather phase where he fought the who's and he fought guys that people thought he shouldn't have fought and that he was going to lose to, and he continuously proved people wrong. But I think the version of Floyd that Tank Davis ran into wasn't Floyd Mayweather, the fighter. It was Floyd Mayweather, the businessman. And when he seen that Tank Davis had the skill that he had, that raw power like that, you get what I'm saying? I think he molded him a certain way to think a certain way. And I don't think the game plan was about running around winning titles. As sad as people you could say it's sad or that you don't respect it. It just is what it is. The end of the day, you running into somebody that, and like I said, was showing you about the business and finding a way for you to make the most money. You get what I'm saying? Making business moves. And I think that's the way his career is shaped up. You get what I'm saying? I just don't think it was ever about chasing the titles. And you could say what you want. I mean, so that's not everybody's path. And I think sometimes as fans, we don't realize what we want for a fighter, they may not want for herself. And I know that it's been times where Tank might have said something like strap season or whatever the case. And I know he's always pretty much held the title, right? I get that. But I don't ever think that the game plan or the goal for him was to necessarily chase the titles. I think he was always chasing money. And you could not like it. You could say, oh, I don't respect it, all you want, but you have to be real, bro. Think about who he's working with. Think about the game that he's getting. You think Floyd is out there telling him, yeah, we're going to fight the most dangerous guy, out there, we're going to go collect all the belts. That's not what he was teaching him. And I think he's a product of his environment and what he learned as far as in the game and who schooled him. You get what I'm saying? I don't think he ever was preaching this undisputed this and unified that. I just don't think that was the case for him. I don't. I think his goal was like, to better my situation financially, get to a point where I could take care of my people that's around me. You get what I'm saying? Make it out the streets. And you think about it, you got people that'll tell him he's a failure or he's a coward because he's not fighting this one or that one. And if you're a real one out there and you really been following the sport, could you say the reason that none of these fights ain't happened because he's scared of somebody? Could you really lay down that night and make yourself believe that the reason the fights ain't happened is because he's scared? You could try to say, oh, he's scared to lose. He already said it. That's the thoughts I think of most fighters. I don't think none of these guys want to lose, especially when you built your career up to a certain point. But like I said, man, I just think the schooling that he got, the game that he got, the wisdom that he got from Floyd Mayweather was more centered and focused on, hey, man, we gonna make this money. And that's what he used to talk. And you can see like you've seen him, he did it. Think about it. Floyd led by example in that regard. He got a career that he could speak of where he made money that nobody else made. He changed the game. And now you got one of the more talented up-and-coming fighters, and that's the kind of game that you're giving them. They're about their money, so I don't think he was ever caring or worried about trying to chase all the titles. That's just me. You get what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. You get me? And I think when you beat the odds the way he has, it's tough to spin a narrative and say that he's some type of a failure. When you see that so many people, like I said, that didn't even make it to where you was at, that you done lost along the way. You get what I'm saying? Think about how heavy, they say it's a saying, heavy is the head that wear the crown. And he been wearing that joint for a minute. Like, it's not just a saying, it's a reality. He been wearing that shit for a minute, whether you want to shit on his resume or whatever the case. That man been putting in work. He been through shit. Think he beat odds that the average person, the average fight fan just won't take time to understand. You get me? I fought for my people. I fought for this money. I fight for this money. I fight to get out of these situations, man. And it's tough to tell me that, or to convince a guy that's that successful that he's some type of coward because he didn't fight who you said he should fight next. You get what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, man, I just don't think in all of the fights that he had, he's truly been picking guys. You get what I'm saying? I don't think that's a him thing. I don't think that's something he worries about. You never see a Tank Davis stressing about an opponent that he got to fight because he know the team is going to make it work. They're going to figure it out for him. He always said, they line him up, I knock him down. And I get it along the way. You done heard him say something about a list before, but they all do that respectfully. Respect to all of them. Like I said, I don't see Devin Haney with a list, Shakur with a list, Tank with a list. That's the entertainment factor, man. Like it's very difficult for guys to get through a damn list of opponents. It's hard as hell to put together one fight. Like we seen it with some of the biggest fights in boxing. It ain't like 1, 2, 3, not in today's boxing. So I really think, man, being over there under that Mayweather umbrella, you know, he was taught to chase that bag, you know, chase the money. And this is the part that makes people uncomfortable when he's an investment. He's an investment. And I think you get to a point where so many people are relying on this guy when he fight. Think about how many people got their hands out. Just think about how you hear him speak. So you get to a point where that shit get tiresome. And think about it. I could rewind it all the way to his first title shot. And from there all the way up. And I could find every one of his opponents. I could find you somebody that complained about something he did. So at the end of the day, I think it got to a point where it's like you understand that you can't, it's people that you're never going to be able to please no matter who you fight. So I just think he just wanted to do it his way. And you could say, yo, he don't want to fight this one or that one. I just think he's content on doing shit on his own terms. He allows people to work it out for him. They pick the fight. They line him up. He knock him down. And I think that's the way it's always been. Could he take more control over his career and demand these guys? Yeah, he could do it. But like I said, when you've been as successful as what he's been, why rock the boat? You get what I'm saying? Why rock the boat? You get what I think there's a fair amount of accountability that you can put on the fighter if you say, yeah, you should take control and you should do X, Y, and Z. But that's a slippery slope because we've seen what happened to Earl Spence when he went against the grain. And that's just my personal opinion. We all heard that he was advised not to fight a Terrence Crawford, definitely at 47. He did it anyway. He ain't been in the ring since. You would Tank Davis and your team has been, you know, putting together the fights and making sure, you get what I'm saying? You getting paid. Who are you? Why would you then go rock the boat and say, nah, give me that guy? You get what I'm saying? And say, God forbid something don't work out. Do you find yourself in a situation like Earl Spence where you out of the ring, where you kind of suffering for not, you know, going with the plan? So you just never know. I just think it's a lot to consider. And it's a little more complex than trying to paint a guy out to be some damn kind of coward when the only thing he's been doing is boxing since he was a damn kid. He beat so many other odds outside of the sport of boxing that's far more dangerous and you know, a lot more to where it's the bigger shit than boxing that he's faced, right? You get what I'm saying? And I think the last thing he is scared to take a punch or fight a guy, right? But I will say I don't think none of these guys want to lose, and he told you that. But I think at the end of the day, even if he hasn't fought any of these guys, right, at this point, because it's not like the fights could never happen. We just never know unless you got a crystal ball that you rubbing. But tell me the average person that's not his, you know, on his fan base side that really appreciate what he did. You get what I'm saying? He been getting slighted since I can remember, since the Pedraza fight, all the way up into this point right here. You get me? So I say why he ain't unified, man, could be a number of reasons. You could say he should have demanded shit. He should have took his career and said, hey, man, give me that guy. But, I mean, listen, you just never know what kind of hornet's nest that you will be, you know, disturbing with that kind of energy. So, look, I think, man, what we seeing now is a guy at a point where he's learned some of the game from a guy like Floyd Mayweather, man. He's learned how to move. They continuously put him in situations where he can make that money. And say what you want, you could shit on him, but if your mentor is teaching you to chase the bag and not the belts, could you be mad? Think about it. You got a guy that is in a poverty-stricken situation. And here I am, one of the biggest names in the sport, and made some of the most money in the sport, and Floyd Mayweather. You get what I'm saying? You kind of take, it's not, I don't even want to use the wrong terminology and say you take advantage, but he's in the perfect situation for you to groom or mold him to chase the bag. When that's something that that would catch his attention. The young kid, he exposing him to the jewelry, to the cars, all that shit. So I just don't think it was ever about, yeah, let's chase all of these belts. You get what I'm saying? We're going to be legends. But I think at the end of the day, when you looking at him and you seeing, like I said, all of the different people that he outlasted in the level that he got to, in his neighborhood, do you think they could call that man a failure? You get what I'm saying? In his neighborhood, do you think they could look at that man, look him in the face and say, hey, man, you failed, man. You get what I'm saying? You failed that life. So I think like his why is different than what the typical fight fan why is for him. Like we want to see all of these guys chase the legacy and be the greatest fighter ever. And I don't think everybody cares about that. Simple and plain. I don't think everybody in boxing is out to try to be the best fighter that boxing ever seen. They can say that shit all they want, but it's a select few that move and demonstrate that on a fight to fight basis. And then you have guys that's like, bro, I came from shit, nothing. Came from watching people get murdered, locked up forever. You get what I'm saying? Boxing, getting shot, gun violence. Like, look, my why is different. I'm getting out of this hood, bro. And it's going, like I said, the hell with you if you gonna call me a coward for not doing what you telling me to do. But I did it my way. You gotta respect it. Is you gonna be able to say that, he's one of the greatest ever? Maybe not, but I don't think he give a damn. I don't think he cared. One thing I could say about Tank, I don't think he ever sat around and sold to us that I'm going to be the greatest fighter that ever lived. Yeah, maybe those was his thoughts once upon a time, but I think he got exposed to that money. He seen his success, and he wanted more of that. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, to a degree, you've seen him beat so many odds. You've seen him go up against some good fighters, right? He just don't get the credit for it because of the expectation level, right? So I don't know, man. I see things a lot differently, man. And like I said, everybody's goal or why is not the same. Everybody's not in it to try to be the best fighter that ever lived. And I know that might be, like I said, a tough pill for people to swallow, but I think his sole purpose was to make money, be rich, make sure that he never had to sleep on another floor again, made sure he never had to go hungry again, made sure that if he wanted to get out of a dangerous neighborhood, he ain't never had to live there again. I think that's what he fighting for. His people that rock with him. You know what I mean? Family, shit like that. Now he got his kids, right? I just think his why been a bit different, and maybe he hasn't checked certain boxes, from a fight fan perspective that you wanted to see him check. But does that in any way, shape, or form make him a failure or some type of loser or a prospect? Does that undermine the work that he's actually put in as a fighter? Hell no. And I get it. There's different conversations. It's all about putting things in its proper perspective or proper context, right? Maybe when you talk about the greatest fighters ever, maybe it's going to be boxers you think he don't check because of people he didn't fight. But I think people are missing it big time when you label that guy some type of coward or, he's not this or he's not that. He ain't trying to be that. I don't think so. I think he was always trying to be one of the richest fighters, one of the most paid fighters. You get me? And I'm only speaking this way because I'm not saying I don't want to see him fight these guys. But what if his goal, he already checked most of his boxes? You know what I'm saying? I'm a buy X, Y, and Z a house. You just never know. What if his goals is just not in line with what the typical fight fan is? And that might be a tough pill to swallow. And I don't think that makes him scary. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you see, he learned some of the business from Floyd. He's been able to stay afloat. He's out here breaking his own records when it comes to the numbers and shit like that. So he's checked that box maybe several times over. So I just think, you know what I mean? It's tough for fans to hear it that, you know, the fighter ain't trying to be legendary. But you think when that man go to Baltimore, he ain't a legend out there? Think he ain't a legend in Baltimore? You think he ain't a legend from where he came from? There's no way you could look at that and say that's that's how you fail in life. Hell no. You get what I'm saying? So I just think the circumstances, the grooming, his entry into boxing, his why, the shit that make him tick, I just think it's different. You know, what he want for himself, I think is different than what people want for him. And that's just me trying to be real, right? Yeah, I want to see all of them fights. I don't think it's a matter of being scared, but I do think the business of boxing has demonstrated that it take a lot for those big fights to be made. And had it not been for Errol Spence pushing for the Terrence Crawford fight and going against his team, going against the grain, as they call it, we would have never seen that fight. So how do people get to Tank Davis and now think that it's any different, right? I think he would essentially have to demand some shit, because who could say that the business of boxing plan is to make a fight with a Shakur or any of the other champions? You get what I'm saying? He clearly said he's not the one picking, right? So they're doing it. So who's to say that the plans is for them to fight any of these guys? And you look at him like, well, you should be asking for him. And it's like, we seen what happened when a guy go against the grain. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I don't think it's no coincidence that we ain't seen Errol Spence. I do think it's a few contributing factors, but I think one of them also is the blowback or the fallout when you do what you want to do and it don't work out in your favor. It almost is like he getting punished for making the best fight for the people. Errol Spence, and I might be wrong, y'all. I'm just giving y'all my opinion and an honest conversation. To me, it looked like Errol Spence is currently, like, you know, in a weird way, being punished to a degree, right? Being punished to a degree for making the best fight for what the fans said they wanted. He made that fight. You get what I'm saying? And ain't been in the ring since then. Get all types of little dates. Now, you know, he's been out the ring extended period of time, and they talking about him possibly coming back to fight a Fundora. Think about how crazy that'd be right now. And you telling me that shit has worked out for him since making the biggest fight for himself? That was the biggest fight he ever been a part of. That was the most money he ever made. He went against the grain, and look what happened. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like if you a Tank, that's a slippery slope. Do you rock the boat? Do you say, man, give me that guy? Do you go against whatever their plans are for him? You get what I'm saying? And you see shit change drastically anyway with I would say with, you know, since Showtime stepped out, obviously PBC is running and moving a bit different. You know what I'm saying? Shit different, man. So I think people are missing it, man. I think we forget that they are prize fighters. These dudes are in it to make money. Yeah, they want to show you how great they are. And I think all guys do that to a degree when they step foot in that square circle. But, you know, there's a select few that really go on those legendary runs. And maybe he might not fit your criteria of what you think a Hall of Famer or a legend is. But could the people where he grew up at, the place where he came from, could they look at him and say that's not how you do it? You get what I'm saying? That's exactly how you do it. And when you got a guy, like I said, like a Floyd Mayweather, and he's a businessman, you get what I'm saying? You adapt some of that same way of thinking and you move a certain way. You get what I'm saying? And I think Tank is an investment that, you know, they want to continue to make money, make the fights that they think can sell, and that guy can keep doing what he's doing, right? I think it's deeper than just looking at him as some type of coward, man. I think that's for lame ass people, right? Maybe he don't want to chase greatness in the way you want to see it chased, but does that make him any less of a fighter? Nah, I don't. You get what I'm saying? He's still a bad dude. You get what I'm saying? How bad? Maybe you would say you would never know because you ain't see some of these matchups, but it still don't take away from the work that he put in. And that's all I was trying to say. Tired of seeing the super toxic conversations. Like, I don't know who people think they are, that they feel like, and I said this earlier, I mentioned this earlier, it's gotten to the point in boxing where we feel like we can tell guys what promotional company to work with, you know, who the manager, like who the, you know, who you shouldn't work with, and what network, and what, you get what I'm saying, what deal to take, and how you shouldn't accept this. It's like, bro, can we just enjoy boxing and salute these dudes for putting on every time they're in the ring? Yeah, there's a different conversation to have at the end of your career when you fought all the who's, or you fought a lot of those killers. You're gonna be one of them guys. But I think when it's all said and done for him, he checked plenty of the boxes I think he wanted to check for himself, or he checked the most important ones. And I think the obvious one was, again, you know, changing your financial situation, right? Being able to change some of the people's lives around you and help some folks, right? You know what I'm saying? Be able to give back to the people as well, right? Do a bunch of giveaways, book bag, and turkey drives, all types of stuff. So you get me? At the end of the day, maybe his story won't read that he was the greatest ever, but it still ain't gonna change the fact that in this era of boxing, when he competed, he definitely was one of the coldest guys there. And it's all right to say that, but I felt like I had to come here. I wanted to talk about this because I was having a conversation the other day, man, and this shit came up. And I was like, I think people miss it with him, man. You can't say none of these guys on the other end could say he's actually ducked them or something weird like that, right? Because they know this shit is business at the end of the day. And if we didn't learn nothing, man, just look no further than Spence and Crawford. I say this shit all the time. People be missing it. These fights be going through. Look how long Beevil and Betterby took to get made. Nobody even said shit. They was crying. We were wilding on Terrence Crawford and Spence. Look how long Beevil and Betterby took to get made. And then look who was involved when it got made. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? You get me? So I just think just gotta open our eyes a little bit more, man. Be a little bit more open-minded, man, and try to be more willing to understand in the business of boxing, because it'll take you for a ride, bro. Everything ain't about ducking. These dudes, I don't think, are cowards, man. I do think, you know, guys are investments. I think when you bring a lot of money to the sport, you're gonna be moved a certain way, and it's gonna be hard for people to accept or understand it. But I say this all the time. If you yourself have an investment, do you take that investment and risk it all? Do you take gambles with that investment, or do you take calculated risks or make moves that make sense? And I think that's something that people truly got to consider when you're talking about a guy like Tank Davis. Shit, for all intents and purposes, you've seen Canelo Alvarez do it. Right now, he's being very strategic with who he fight, because not only is he protecting the bag, but he milking it. He milking the game. You get what I'm saying? And he feel like, look, I done fought all the who's now. This is for me. You get me? And again, he making business moves, bag moves, because he make a lot of money every time he step in there. And I think if you want to keep making that money, and it's unfortunate because the way it read when it's all said and done, look like you just avoiding the most dangerous guys out there. And that may be true to a degree, but at the bare minimum, every fight is a risk. And you protecting that bag. And I think you will see a lot of people do that when they get in position. They're a rare breed. There's a small percentage of those guys that risk it all, you know, when they're in position. That's not the story for everybody. You get what I'm saying? It's just not in the cards for everybody, man. Some guys are gonna be prize fighters. You get me? And I'm just not gonna fault you for that. I feel like this, as long as you stand on business every time you step in the ring, I'm gonna always be able to respect it. Yeah, there's a conversation to have if at the end of it all you left meat on the bone and several opponents that you didn't face that were deemed somewhere around your level. Here's a conversation, but like I said, don't allow that what you want to see blind you from what you still are seeing. You still seeing these dudes go out there, perform at an extremely high level, and still give you good fights. Get what I'm saying? Look how surprising Lamont Roach was as a fight. It was surprisingly good, wasn't it? You get me? Dude stood on business. Y'all hit that like button, man. We gonna keep cooking. B3 Motown. What it do? Dante, what's good, homie? The Butcher said he's promoting careful brain damage. Nick Ballin, what it do, homie? Mars Dope was good with it. You don't want to chase greatness. Nobody should ever look at Tank as a legend in sport. Are any top lightweights of all time? But I don't. And shout out to B3. I don't think he care about that. I don't think he care about that, because I think like that us fans, we gonna argue about that. Put yourself in his shoes. Imagine being in his shoes, right? And just walk with me for a second. Put yourself directly in his shoes, hypothetically, if you could, and imagine having his record, the KOs, the money, the history he got, and the person getting online, bro. And for real, you're gonna have to feel me on this. Imagine it, right? You being in the same exact position that he's in currently, with the draw and all, controversy and all, right? And somebody on the internet talking about how you ain't this, how you a coward, how you a duck. Just think about how crazy that is. You get what I'm saying? I said this before. We never consider what the fighters want for themselves. We always talk about what we want, and I'm gonna keep saying it. We have a choice. We don't have to support things that we don't deem worth our money. It's not forced. Nobody is holding us hostage, making us support boxing, right? But at the end of the day, I just don't feel like because I spend money on pay-per-views or I support these guys and you know, spend my hard-earned money that I get to determine every move that they make. You get me? So when it's all said and done, I think the reason he ain't unified is simply because that ain't been one of the goals. I just don't think that been on the list of priorities for him. You could cry about it, you could be mad about it, you could despise it, whatever the case. I just think one of his number one goals is exactly what it is, to keep winning and keep making money and doing what makes sense. T Hill was good with it. BJ was good, homie. Y'all smashed the like button for you, bro. I know I'm a little early, but we're gonna cook, man. Just wanted to come here with a different bit of perspective, man, on this situation, without the toxic tearing them down and he's a coward, and that's not. These dudes take punishment for a living, bro. Imagine how many people he take care of. Imagine how many people he's helped in his career. You get what I'm saying? You start fighting for a different purpose, man. You damn sure ain't fighting for no people that's gonna switch up on you when you don't do what they want you to do. Look how fat look that the man didn't even have to lose a fight. All he had to do was have a good fight that didn't end with his hand getting raised and in a draw and people ready to write him off. You got people doing full-blown videos talking about how done he is. Think about that, man. And that's why I take this approach, bro. I'm going to always stand strong in my spot. I'm going to always come here to get these dudes they just do, because I see it so much differently than the average person. Just because a guy's not doing what you want him to do, don't make him a coward. You get what I'm saying? Maybe he ain't interested in proving greatness in that way to you. You get what I'm saying? But I think at the end of the day, man, all of these fights, anything can happen in these fights, bro. Anything can happen in these fights. You always got to keep that in mind. Shout out to my homie Dr. Boxing Talk too, man. My brethren, man. I seen him pop through. D-Man, my bro, Free Smoke was good with it, fam. I mean, so look, we're gonna keep building. And I don't know when you got in here, Free Smoke, but ain't nothing there's no cap being discussed today. It's just real conversation. So again, people say that stuff, you know, and they speak about unifying, man. Like I said, man, you a guy that's trying to make your money, not pay a bunch of sanctioning fees. He learned the best. He learned it from Floyd. Did Floyd chase undisputed? Yeah, he maintained the belt. He vacated, win the damn same belt back. Yeah, we seen the game. Because you're gonna allow yourself to be a damn world champion, of course. You ain't a fool, right? You're gonna be a world champion, but I just don't think his goal or his plan was to, you know, chase all of the belts and try to be undisputed. And I truly think that guys move on their terms, man. They're going to do things when they want them to do it, not when people want them to do it. That's another thing, because, again, how people spoke about Lomachenko and it being an opportunity for him to been fought him, and he should have been tried to fight him. You can't tell these men, or you can't tell the business of boxing to move according to how you think. And that is no different with his situation. But at the end of the day, always allow history to reflect that when it was an actual offer being made, when that was time for that fight to be made, it wasn't Gervonta Tank Davis nor the PBC that walked away from the situation. It was Lomachenko. And to his own credit, respect to him, he had every right to decide to walk away if that's what he chose to do. I hated that he walked away at that time, because I thought we was going to see a Tank and Loma, but the history is always going to reflect that he did that situation did happen. Now you could try to pick it apart all you want and try to overanalyze it and say, well, why didn't he do it years and years ago? And that's the problem with boxing right there. That proves my point. When people don't move when you say they should, we treat it like they never done anything. And at the end of the day, it's not like he was trying to fight a Lomachenko that was looking like some old guy that need to retire and don't belong in the sport. He was fighting a Lomachenko that went in there with a scrappy Cambosis with a big heart that did get the win over a Teofimo, never been stopped at that point. He beat that guy up, stopped him, and looked phenomenal doing it, and made himself a world champion. So let the record also reflect that when he did, maybe he wasn't as young as what he was when people initially talked about the fight, but he still was a guy performing at an elite level because of the way he beat Cambosis was spectacular. It was phenomenal. He didn't lose a round. He styled on him. He was looking like the Matrix again. They was talking all that shit again. So that's the guy he tried to fight. Yeah, a bit longer in the tooth, but still a world-class athlete. And I think the fights show you that, his performances dictate that. Loma never looked like some old man in the ring to me. So, I mean, the fight didn't happen, and it wasn't to no fault of Tank Davis. So, it just is what it is. And now you had a situation where I think he might be tired of shit. He might be tired of shit. Said plus both Bob and Loma themselves said they had plans to fight him. Yeah, man. Yeah. That's the thing, man. If you're trying to have a conversation, it's not about disagreeing with my opinion. Just say what your opinion is. I don't care if you agree. I'm not talking for you to agree with me. I don't get up here for you to agree, to see how many people agree with me. What I'm saying, I feel like it's very logical, and you might be in a minority. I'm not looking for you to agree. If you understand, that's good enough for me. So like I said, man, fans are selfish. They feel like because you spend your money, you could tell these dudes who they got to get punched in the face by. We got to tell them how you should chase greatness, and if you don't do it this way, then you're not great. Well, I'll say this: if I was a broke, kid growing up tough on the streets of Baltimore and seeing my people drop like flies along the way, and I got introduced to boxing, start kicking ass, and met Floyd Mayweather, and it was up from there. And y'all sitting up here trying to tell me I'm not. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna have a tough time making me believe that shit. So at the end of the day, I think it's a lot of people that's always gonna look at him and say he's a success story, man. That's the way to do it. He did it on his terms, and like I said, I don't think everybody cares about what a fan's opinion is of them at the end of the day. You heard him say it all the time, man. He'd rather get his money in, make his money, and get up out the way. And I don't think he here for the opinions of people. I don't think he cared. So he fight for the people that rock with him, that just want to see him fight. And I think that's it. That's all. I don't think it's nothing too complex to understand. He checking his boxes off in his own way. Maybe not the shit that you want to see, but you don't got to watch it, and people continue to watch it. So you know what I mean. So he unified Loma. As Loma walked away. Yeah, that's what we was going. So I don't know, man. Do I still want to see fights? But more importantly, I want to see guys do things on their own terms, man. Not everybody has the luxury to move and make moves and lead a sport of boxing on their own terms. Tank Davis might be a guy in position to do that. And just think about it. You got people saying he should retire and all these different things, drop the belt. He should be stripped. It's like, it's always overkill when it pertains to him. So I said this before. I know he's a bit older than the rest of these dudes, but they all bear the same responsibility to fight other champions and top guys. It's not solely his responsibility to fight all of the top guys by himself. It would be a better argument if everybody had a top one or two top guys and he was just out there the only one by himself, but that's not the case. And I'm trying to make a point while being fair to each of these fighters. They're all in similar situations where they're kind of jockeying for position. and nobody is light years above anybody in terms of competition that they face. They all face relatively the same level of competition, with the exception of maybe a name or two separating them in difference, which is not much. So at the end of the day, man, I just want to see more boxing, more fights, but these guys they got to work together for us to get these fights, bro. They do. They really do. Shout out to my guy T Hill too, man. Nick Balling says some fighters can do no right. Boost Unified still improving. Yeah, so we're gonna get to it. We're gonna keep building. We're gonna keep building. Like I said, I just wanted to get that off. I feel like it's just gonna be tough to tell a person that survived so much shit outside the ring that you not successful, that you ain't shit, that you a coward. Nah, I don't. You know, I just think he's going along with the business of boxing. He allowing his team to do exactly what their job is. Y'all find the opponent. He say yes, yay or nay. It's that simple. And yeah, could he say, yo, I want that guy for sure, and they make it happen? Yeah, I think that's a possibility, but I'm not going to crucify him for not doing it, like I said before, because it's hard to argue with the results if you're Gervonta Davis. It's hard to argue with where you at right now. And despite how much, I think one of the biggest issues with some of the fans, they feel like even though he don't have the names, he still got that recognition. And that's just telling you something about him that the people obviously like, bro. Where he ain't got to have the craziest resume and they still going to show up. Just is what it is. It's a chosen few, and he one of them, bro. And he doing it his way, allowing his team to, you know, find the opponents, and he lining them up and doing what he do. And I just don't think it's going to be no different. I think that's the way he's going to continue to move till he hang his gloves up. Maybe in the process, you maybe get one of those fights, a couple of those fights. But at the end of the day, I'm just here for some boxing, man. I ain't going to cry about the fights that's not happening. I'm just going to look forward to the ones that are. So, you know, salute to him and his situation. I hope he get it squared away so he could resume what is a damn great career, a successful career. Because it's some fights that I truly would love to see him in. But I'm not selfish to the point where it's like, if you don't fight that guy, you're a coward. You know, you're a duck. You don't want to fight. We're protecting you. I don't protect. How am I? I can't deter. If it was up to me, we'd be seeing all the fights that we want. You get what I'm saying? So there's not a conversation that I could have that's going to impact who they decide to select as an opponent. Let the record reflect that I want to see and would love to see all of the same fights that y'all would want to see. But I'm just not willing to cry over it. I'm just not, because I know I don't have no control over that man's career. So whatever he do, I understand as a fight fan, I got a choice. I either support it or don't. And it's just that simple. There's no need to cry. There's no need to undermine him and tear him down as a fighter because he didn't make the move you want. Yeah, there's a conversation I have to say, man, I don't think he want to fight. I get it. You can say you don't think he want to do this or you don't think he want to do that. That's okay. But to dismiss all of the work that he's put in and ignore the fact that there's a reason you want to see him in these kind of fights is because he's been sparking shit, beating people ass, knocking guys out, winning fights. He showed you a boxing at an elite level, and you want to see just how elite he is, and the way you feel like you're going to figure that out if you fight the other guys that's deemed somewhere in or around his level. And I understand that. We fight fans, we junkies, we want to see, you know, the number one guy against the number two guy. We want to see that shit. You get me? We want to see it. And regardless of where you got him ranked, you know his ass is somewhere near the top. And that's the shit that people hate. No matter how much you try to, you know, downplay what he is as a fighter because of the resume, let the record reflect that that's a 5'5" guy that's been from 135 to 140 and been undersized in many of those fights. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all hit that like button, man. Hit that like button for your boy. Man, hit that like button, y'all. Hit the like button. We're going to keep building, man. Business from another planet. What's good with it? Tank is a great fighter. He can do what he wants. As a fan of boxing, he's just not fighting the best top fighters in his own weight class, in my opinion. But you know what? Look, it's all good, right? But the rest of them not either, though. You get me? Visitors from another planet. I understand completely because they're a little bit older. You like, man, nah, he gotta fight these dudes, man. I get it. But they gotta fight too. They gotta fight each other. You get me? It's more than one top fighter. Tank ain't the only top fighter in the weight class. The other guys gotta fight too. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree that all the top fighters share the same responsibility? That's the only point that I'm making. I agree 1,000,000%. He needs to fight the other top fighters, but I would also say same goes for everybody else, where it just don't look like he got to carry the division. Nah, the rest of y'all, it's a lot of guys claiming to be the best, and I just want to see them dudes fight. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a reason. There's a reason they want to see him fight them guys. Kendrick, what's good with it, fam? That's facts. That's a fact, Kendrick. You know my steez, man. Randall, what it do, homie? Shout out to my dog. Appreciate you, bro. Shakur would kill us at 135 is taking that fight. That's a Nick Ballin. Ain't a ton of those guys, though, we being honest. Ain't a ton of those guys if we being honest. It's not a ton of them. So it's a couple of them names, right? You might want to see him do some shit like dip his toe back in 140 again and test the waters, right? I get it. But for me, y'all, I understand people's frustrations, man, but it's boxing, it's entertainment. We can't pick who people fight, or we probably, all these dudes that probably had losses, because we throw everybody in with everybody, right? But I just feel like they got a plan, and I don't know exactly what that plan is, but I will say part of that plan is to make sure he's in a situation where he always coming out on top. You can hate that shit, love that shit, or cry about it, but at the end of the day, they're going to always try to make sure that guy's in the best position possible. And I think that's the same that as any other fighter with their team. I think all of these guys are making sure that their fighters are in the best positions possible. You get what I'm saying? It's no different. Like Tank shouldn't have to bear or wear all the responsibility of making top fights just because he sell a lot of tickets. Yeah, he's a top fighter, sell a lot of tickets, and he a bad man. That's why he should make the top fights. But he ain't the only bad man. I feel like Shakur is bad. As long as Keyshawn was there being a champion, another bad man. You got Moritai out there. You got Abdullah Mason now about to have that belt. In my opinion, that Keyshawn just dropped. So you got other fights. You got other guys to make fights besides just him. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. He bounced around in multiple divisions. And some people almost talk about him like he had 30 fights at lightweight. And that's not true. And when we all know he started at 26, we know this shit. So I get it. You feel like he's been at lightweight long enough where he should at least snatched up another one of the belts. But again, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. They move on their own time. The business of boxing does not move according to the fans. They do shit when they want to do it. Oh, why they ain't been trying to fight Loma? Because maybe they didn't want to. They did it when they did it. That's all that mattered. They made an attempt to do it. The fight didn't come to fruition. It wasn't on him. So part of the shit people complain about would have been satisfied if that one fighter would have taken that fight. I'm tired of people saying all these years ago when it was never no offer on either side for nobody to fight. But when it was, one guy walked away. That's cool. I'm not shitting on him for it. It is what it is. It just wasn't in the cards for it to happen. Now he in a position where I think now he's in a position where I think you get tired of this shit too. Oh man, shout out to my homie. My bad, y'all. I was a little distracted. My bad, y'all. Shout out to my dog. Man, Cal, he said, just I seen dude say Tank waiting out to fight Bud to beat Canelo. Hell nah. Nah, listen. And I just have a different take on Tank. And I don't have the toxic take that a lot of people have. And sometimes people be disappointed that I'm not up here going crazy. But I understand. No matter how much money I spend on this sport, no matter how many pay-per-views that I'm willing to participate, like buy and purchase, I can't decide who they fight. If I could, then we will all be getting the fights that we all want. So it's like, why stress myself out over something that I have no control over? Why continuously wake up every day and speak crazy about a guy just for not doing what I said do? You get what I'm saying? Like, it just boxing don't go that way. You get what I'm saying? Every now and then we're going to get some of the best fights in the world, and it don't be the easiest thing, man. Watch, I'm going to get my guy up here, and I'm gonna let y'all hear it from a fighter himself how difficult it is to make these fights, man. How difficult it is to get through one fight, let alone a damn hit list. You get what I'm saying? This shit ain't the business, man. The business make this shit difficult, man. Politics hold up a lot of these fights, man. I'm telling you, man. Sports predictions, what it do, homie? To be honest, I think it was truly gutted at the Devin fight, 31. So disappointed with the way it went. Yeah. Oh, you talking about Loma? Yeah. Needs to take a year or so to get his life together. Yeah, I think he need to I think he should take some time off and just, get himself right. You know what I'm saying? Get himself right. But I think when you've been doing something since you've been about 6 years old, you find yourself at about 30. Like, again, heavy is the head to wear the crown, right? And I think what you seen with Tank, the crown getting heavy. Not saying that he ain't strong enough to hold it, right? But I think you start to see some of the wear and tear of boxing. And I ain't talking about from a physical standpoint. I'm talking about a mental standpoint. And I'm tired of people acting like he ain't put in a bunch of work before he got to this point. It's a lot of people that don't even make it here. You know what I'm saying? All he had was a close fight, and he was ready to ball him up and throw him away. Man, I had a draw, so I get it. You know what I mean? Felt like it was going to look different, or he was supposed to do whatever to Lamont, but it didn't happen. And for whatever reason, the fight played out how it did, man. But, man, that man's put in a lot of work. I respect him as a talent. My thing is, you're not always going to see everybody push it to the absolute max. Get what I'm saying? And maybe he might be one of those guys, but still don't dismiss what he's done up until this point, bro. I mean, the crown heavy. You get what I'm saying? I think that joint heavy as hell. You get me, Kendrick? Like, I'm saying it because I hear some of the things he say. Like, man, you get tired of this. Like, it's just fake. Like, I'll be catching the clips in the interviews where it's like hell with these cameras. Like, it'd be a genuine thought process. Like, this shit get fake. You know what I'm saying? But I also think, again, back to the question about unifying, I think it's a matter of what the focus is with the people that he's working with. I think that has a lot to do with it too. And again, guys are gonna move when they see fit. You know what I mean? They're gonna try to seize opportunities when they see them available. And I just think that's what we got. That's what we've been getting with this situation, man. And I just don't think he's a scary guy. I want to be very clear. I don't think he's scared. I don't think he don't want to challenge himself. I think he's challenged himself in many ways. Has he challenged himself to the absolute max? Not quite yet, because there's some names that he haven't shared the ring with. But again, man, I just think it's not as cut and dry as people would like it to be in terms of, oh, well, he's just scared. That's why. And I think that's bullshit, because I think you don't get to the level that he's gotten to being scared, being a coward, or none of that, and challenging yourself. I think, like I said, every single time I've seen him in a fight, whether it was his very first title fight to his most recent fight, people always find so many reasons and ways to take credit from what he is doing. You get what I'm saying? And that told me very early on that no matter what he did, people would still be knocking him. I'm willing to bet you anything. It's always going to be somebody, no matter what he accomplished in the sport, there's always going to be somebody to tear him down. And that's how it is for a lot of fighters, because a lot of these individuals, again, they don't really like boxing. And you can tell because of how they talk about it. You get what I'm saying? They'll tear a guy down in a heartbeat. So look, man, all I'm saying is, just to wrap this up, because we got some other stuff to talk about. Like I said, we're going to keep building. We're going to keep cooking. Shout out to everybody. Hit the like button if you haven't. We're going to keep getting to it. So I just want to say this, man. When it's all said and done, I'm going to always hope to see the absolute best guys fight the best guys. But I ain't here to trip and cry if it don't happen. All right, on to the next. right? Can't wait to see, you know, what could be the next potential fight for Tank, because whatever fight is going to be, I think it'll be a damn good. But I think as of right now, he got some other things maybe to focus on until you get back to boxing. And in the meantime, you know, it'll be here. Shit, boxing ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So I hope he getting whatever his situation together and putting himself in a space where he could make a strong return to the ring. That's what I would like to see for him, because I'm a true supporter of him. Look, I understand, Tank, that you jumped in this game, you know, and you was a prize fighter from the rip. You got one of the biggest, the richest fighters in the sport of boxing that changed the landscape and how guys get paid. And the Floyd Mayweather, right? He just upped the ante. I get it. He showed you everything that you would need to get out of the situation that you fought for years to get out of. And you got to a position where you was able to do exactly that. You was able to learn some game from him and keep it going. I don't think it's easy at all to stay at the level that he's at. I think, and this is just me being genuine, a real conversation, I think when you fighting at that level, when all the eyes is on you, when you go viral for just about anything, when a tweet could go viral, you get what I'm saying? You tweet and delete. But before you delete it, they already got it in the video, making videos about it. I do think it's a lot that come with it. I do think it can be mentally taxing. I think some of the things that he's expressed and vocalized in the public is him being, you know, mentally drained to a degree with the sport of boxing. I feel like it's something that people don't speak enough about, and they act like these guys are just like mindless robots or something, and like they can't go through things and get tired of this shit. So I think that's what some of the energy you heard from him in that last press conference with him and Roach, right? You heard it seem like he was dealing with things from a mental standpoint, and the business could get tiresome, the games, the back and forth, like, right? Soon as you about to get a damn unification or a good fight, they're like, not so fast. Like, you never know. You never know. So look, man, I get it. He beat a different kind of odds, man. He a legend from where he from. And if people can't respect that, then so be it, right? Hopefully the rest of what he got in store for us lead to some of those fights that we want to see. But if not, we'll see. We'll see. But I think when his story is done, I think it's gonna read that he was highly successful, man. He made some of the most money. He avoided some of the pitfalls of the tough Baltimore streets, man. He kicked some ass. He been in a number of different weight classes, held titles, right? And just he did it his way. And there's always gonna be, I think, a huge amount of people that respect that. And it's all good, right? It's gonna be some that's like, nah, man, he ain't chase greatness the way I wanted to see him chase it. Man, he ain't fight Shakur. He ain't fight Tio. He ain't fight Devin, right? But they ain't fight each other and they ain't fight him. We're gonna have to tell the rest of the story too. So that's all, man. I just respect all of these dudes grind, man. I know this shit ain't easy doing what he doing, going out there and continuously winning at the highest level, right? So, you know what I mean? You always root for guys, man, to just keep doing their thing. So it's no different with Tank, man. And the story continues, man. Frequent, what it do, man? How you feeling, bro? Yeah, man, difference of opinion ain't no hate. It's all good. Like, look, one thing over here, if you got a different opinion than me, you could come up and talk to me. You don't got to disagree with me to have your opinion, you know? LWBoxing, the facts machine, my dog is in the building. The plug, you know? The plug. You know, you connect the dots. SP, what it do? Shout out to my homie, man. Appreciate you. But we're gonna keep going, man. So, like I said, man, let's see what the next fight is there. But let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Something that people didn't like that came out. You know, I see how people look. I'm very consistent, y'all. Boots gonna get his just due too, you know. And why is he? Because he should, bro. I think this is another one of those situations where you speak a certain way publicly, but the moves that are made are different than what people feel like they're hearing. So let me be a little more clear. This Josh Kelly situation right here is been pissing people off. The fact that they even think that Boots will fight him and he ain't fighting Virgil or this one or Bakram or look, man, people got to pump their brakes and chill out. Chill out, man. The man, at least let him get a fight at 54. I don't give a damn if it's Josh Kelly, so be it. Go beat his ass. Go beat his ass. They're like, oh, nah, this is a bad look for Boots. It's looking bad. Eddie Hearn destroying his career again. Oh, my God. Shut up, man. Shut up, shut up, shut up. Eddie Hearn just had him in a unification with Stan Jonas. Damn, he ain't ruining a man's career. Look, Boots, this is my opinion. Everybody got theirs, and I respect it. Y'all want to see him go jump straight into the deep end because that's what they've been talking, how they've been talking. You feel like they was going to go fight Godzilla. I get it. But entertainment versus reality. Reality is new weight class. He should have been there maybe a bit sooner. It doesn't matter. We can't rewind. We can only go forward. He here now. If he's going to use a Josh Kelly, so to speak, and I'm going to play the clip from his people and Josh Kelly about what he said about the offer. But if that's who he's going to go fight and acclimate to the division, if that's going to be his welcome to the division fight, I'm not tripping. Go beat Josh Kelly ass. Go do some N1 mixtape moves on him and be done with it. Y'all out here calling them Jaron easy fights. Ennis is crazy. Nah, put some respect on Youngin name. I get it. Y'all don't understand the move. Y'all like, bro, this ain't it. It's supposed to be Virgil. What about Bakram? What about, Zayas? Look, bro. They gonna do what they do. I think he gonna fight this guy. And I think we're gonna get to see him in one of the matchups that we've been wanting to see him in. I hope people keep that same energy when he in there with one of those fights that you said he was ducking. I think it's just a matter of time with Boots. Give him a second to dip his foot in the pool and get his foot wet a little bit. You get me? I ain't tripping about this. Go if you got to do N1 mixtape moves on Josh Kelly, so be it. Kick his ass, Boots. Kick his ass, G. Go kick his ass and keep it pushing. That's all. Yeah, they're gonna miss him when he retires. You already know how I go. If you try to naked with no wrench for so long, zero issues. Shout out to my guy, because you doubled up on the channels frequent. I got you though. Man, but man, hell nah. We just gonna keep building, man. No toxic boxing talk, man. First fight at 154 Boots, get him out of the way and move on. That's what I'm saying. I think fans are overreacting again. Eddie Hearn not destroying his career. Yeah, it's not the ideal fight or matchup that you want to see, but let's start using our heads. He is moving up, and I think if they do go this route, it will be exactly for that reason, to acclimate to the division. Welcome to the division. And it's one fight, bro. It's not the end of the world. Boots go out there, test the waters, go put a beating on Josh Kelly. I think Josh Kelly got like one loss. He ain't no trash ass fighter. He's just not the name that you want to see. That's all. But it's boxing. It's boxing. And like I said, I've seen guys move up and get welcome to the division fights too. Don't forget Virgil, right? Who did Virgil fight in his first two fights? Frederick Lawson and Thomas Delorme. You get me? On his way up. So wasn't nobody tripping about that. They wasn't calling him all types of ducks and saying he ain't want to fight nobody when he did that shit. I'm not tripping about Boots. I don't give a damn about what nobody said, no interview. Oh, they talk like they want all the smoke. This move doesn't mean that they don't want the smoke. It mean they're gonna do it on their terms. Maybe they crossing T's, dotting I's. Maybe he wanna welcome to the division and then he ready to go. And I feel like that's what's gonna happen. And that's why I'm not tripping. I don't think that Boots is gonna come to 54 and not go after these dangerous guys and try to fight them. I don't believe that. It's just another case of fans overreacting because a fighter's not doing exactly what you want them to do when you want them to do it. You heard, Eddie Hearn did say that it was some talks about him and Virgil. Virgil wasn't going to be ready. I think Virgil had the hand injury. Then Virgil turned around, said they wanted tune-ups. So it's a lot of back and forth, man. At the end of the day, Boots need to go out there, punish this kid, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Show everybody, make you a 154-pound statement, and just keep it pushing, bro. R. Stokes, what it do, homie? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Big House, what it do, homie? Kelly lose to Avanesian. Yeah, he got stopped. I think Avanesian stopped him too. Hey, you feel some kind of way when it comes to the Virgil matchup. Yeah, look, I think that fight is inevitable. I don't think there's no scenario where they're both at 154 pounds and they don't try to fight each other. I think that'd be stupid. You know what I'm saying? I think up at, what was it? The weight that he fought at, he was, you know, Thomas Delorme was pretty much at toward the end. Think about it. Boots fought Thomas Delorme at, what was it? Was it 40 Boots fought him at? Virgil fought him at, what, like 50 something, right? Some type of catch weight. Sunshine, what it do, homie? How you feeling, bro? My God, right. Shout out to my homie, man. My bad, y'all. Yeah, but let's get back to it. So you get extra turn whenever you got to deal with Oscar, right? Oh, my bad. So, Josh Kelly, let's get to this. My bad. I was responding to the text. So let me pull this up because his team, somebody from his team spoke on this a little bit. And the reason why I asked is Josh Kelly being lowball is because of what they've been saying, right? Let me take this off of here real quick. And let me pull up the little short clip. It's a longer one, but let me just pull up the short clip from his people.
Name yesterday was Jaron Boots Ennis, who's making a move up to 154. Eddie Heard come out and spoke to multiple outlets, including IFL TV, about an offer that was sent to Josh Kelly about the fight in, I'm not sure if there was a potential date or October time, but yeah, I guess I'd ask yourself, Adam, what is the latest with this offer that was sent to Josh?
I spoke to Eddie's lawyer less than 24 hours ago. The date was pretty sure October the 11th in Philadelphia. I think that's what they said. For a fight purse that Eddie knows full well is derisorily low. It's less than half of what Josh has been paid for a 10-round bout, and Eddie knows that. So, and then the fact that he's gone straight to the media rather than speaking to me. Every fight I've made with Eddie over the years, I've spoken to him directly. I haven't heard from Eddie. It was Sean that contacted me, made the offer, and then said we need an answer within 24 hours because we had other options. Okay, and I put the phone down, and less than an hour later, I see it popping up all over the social media. I thought, okay, well, Eddie's trying the old tried and tested route of using the media to negotiate and pressure someone into taking a fight for money that he knows isn't the right money. We want that fight. We want all of them. Josh won't now hide from anyone, but if Eddie is serious about making that fight, then obviously he has to speak to me and make a serious offer.
So look, man, shout out to Josh Kelly and his team. Look, I rock with what he was saying right there. He said he worked with Eddie in the past, and the other time they speak directly. This time he went to the media. So those are the games that Eddie be playing, and it's a lot. All the promoters do it at the end of the day, right? But I just hate to see this happen on the back of Boots' career because people gonna always assume the worst. They're gonna think that like I don't like to hear that you offering, crappy money. Like, don't start that. Like, I don't want to start. I don't want that to be the narrative. Like, I can't control it, but as a fight fan, I hate to hear that. Like, come on, Eddie. Come on, bro. Come on, man. I don't even want to hear that. And it don't sound like he lying. That's what he said. He said that, come on, you offering him way less than what he'd make for a 10-rounder. He's like, yo, you trying to go put it into the media to pressure us to take money that you know is not right. And we ain't for it. So I respect him. I respect Buddy for standing up for his fighter and not allowing him to go out like Willie Lump. But come on, Eddie, man. I don't want to say too much because I ain't got all the information. But come on, man. Make Boots a fight. The worst thing you could do is, his name already getting dragged for this. The last thing you want to hear is that you offering him BS money and now he ain't even get the fight. You get me? So I just want to see Boots be able to get his feet wet at 54 because I think he's going to hit the ground running. I think his first performance is going to be something to talk about. I think we're going to be discussing it for a while, and it's going to lead to bigger fights for him. I'm going to be patient, man, because I know one thing about boxing. You got to be patient because the business don't work according to how you think in your head. You get what I'm saying? So just got to sit back, be patient, and I'm going to do that. Why I still got faith in Boots? Because of what I believe he is as a talent. I don't know what their true plan is for him. I don't know the ins and outs of how they're moving or anything like that. But at the end of the day, if he continue to fight how he do the last time we seen him, he gonna be just fine. Yeah, it might look bad. This might be a couple, you know, people gonna talk a little trash for a week or two. But at the end of the day, the only way he gonna look bad to me is if he get in the ring and somebody make him look bad. You can't beat him or make him look bad inside the ring. The business gonna be the business. I'm not tripping about no Josh Kelly. If that's who you fight, that's who you gotta fight. And it is what it is. It's one guy, get him out the way. I'm pretty sure Boots gonna put belt to ass and keep it pushing. And I can't wait to see the second or possibly the third fight for him at 54, because I feel like it's gonna be one of those guys that we want to see him fight. I just don't think he will come up to 54 without the ideal of fighting a guy like Virgil. So it's not if he'll fight him, it's when he gonna fight him. For me, it's when. It's not if. I think it's when. You get me? I don't see no scenario. How the hell they gonna coexist there in a second weight class with each other and not fight each other? They was already talked about, at 47, and it was them that needed the 48 months, right? So now that the shoe's on the other foot and you got Virgil more established, they think they obviously seem more comfortable with taking the fight now. But look, if you Boots, man, go beat up Josh Kelly. If that's the name on the plate, get him up out of there and just keep it pushing, bro. Not a big deal. Ever G's, what it do? So Boots out there like how so I'm telling you, and one mixtape Boots. Yeah, they call him my guy, Jaron, easy fight Boots. I'm like, Jaron, easy fight Ennis. I'm like, okay. Nah, that's and one mixtape Boots. I'm sticking with that name. And one mixtape Boots. That's why I don't call myself a fan. I call myself a supporter, because even when I don't understand the move, like I don't know. I don't think a Josh Kelly would do nothing more for Boots, but just allow him to establish himself at 154, right? Kind of welcome to the division. Part of the acclimation process, as I call it, right? Just, testing the waters a bit. Get me even though I don't feel like it does much for him, I'm not about to overreact. It's a fight. If you rock with Boots, support the move. If not, then cry about it, But I feel like better fights is for him after this. I feel like if this is the guy to get him started, so be it, man. So be it. But I don't like the whole sound of him being lowballed that he was talking about, man. But let me get into this video though, because he talked about it some more. Let's get into Josh Kelly talking about it.
Doing bicep curls with him. I don't think
Mate, they just, I don't know, I've never seen Mike's like this, but step the game up. I like it.
got to bring the best out for the pretty one, you know what I mean?
Come on.
But yeah, just ticking over now. Back in the gym. Sort of enjoying being back in the gym and just ticking over, I guess.
Yeah, mate. I'm ready to get a date and get something in, do you know what I mean? And get the focus. It's nice ticking over, but when you get that date and the focus, changes. Everything changes.
Yeah, that's what I think. We were speaking about it, like that change in mentality in a sense, like. But as we say, like, you feel like sort of as you've got older, you've matured, like you treat sort of being out of camp differently. Still, the training, still sort of that mentality is almost a bit different, as you say.
Yeah, 100%. When you're younger, you're just a little bit carefree, aren't you? But now, when you're older, you know things don't last forever. So you need to take care of them. So especially your body.
Yeah, do you feel like now you are entering that sort of that peak years of your career in a sense, especially like do you feel that in your body, like especially from when you were younger?
I feel stronger, mentally stronger, spiritually a different person. Like if hindsight, innit? Everything's hindsight. If I could go back and give myself, my younger self, the things I've got now, I think I'd already be world champion by now. But like obviously, you got to learn the lessons. You got to do what you got to do to get where you got to get. And I'm here now, so why not push on and have a go now?
Yeah, is that the interesting thing? Because I'm sure you would have felt like, look, 5 years ago, you feel like that this was the best I'll be, and this, and probably sort of as years go on, you feel like the best. And do you feel like you see that gradual progress, like it always getting better in a sense?
I think now I'm definitely in my prime now. I think these are my prime years. I think now for at least, I think it's maximum 3 years I'll be as strong and fit as I am now, and sharp and mature. And then after that, I'm not sure. Well, I can't really predict that, but I know for a few years I'm going to be feeling like this. So I think now's the time to capitalise and take these fights I need to take.
Yeah, how much are you itching to be in them big fights? Because you can't force people to fight you. I know there was a lot of talk of domestic opponents, etc. But do you feel like now there is that itch to get more than ever? Now, as you say, you feel like you're in the best shape that you've been in. That look, I just want to prove it in the ring.
Well, mate, it's the politics of boxing's mad. You get down to it, really. It's mad. It's like to make a fight, not just straightforward to make a fight. And I heard Turki Al-Sheikh saying he can't get no one to fight Murtazaev.
Yeah.
Listen, we were. I'm sure. Listen, I'm not going to say anything. I'm saying, listen, get your guy to fight me, right? I'll fight Murtazaev. I'll fight him, no problem. Yeah. And about Tom and Jerry fights and all this stuff, it's like stars make fights. If there weren't the great Cassius Clays, if there weren't the great Sugar Ray Leonards or Willie Peps or Ray Robinson, any of them guys, there wouldn't be any stars. It would just be everyone standing in the centre of the ring. Yeah. So this Tom and Jerry fighter, we'll go in there and he'll beat Murtazaev, stand him on his head. So let's make that fight, because I heard Turkey talking on the Boxing Voice, and he said he couldn't get no one to fight him, and he offered 3 opponents, and everyone's scared of that. Listen, we put our name in for that fight, and we haven't heard nothing back. So let's see where put your money where your mouth is, and I'm here. Yeah. I'll take Murtazaev. Put your guy against me. Come on.
That's what I say. I guess we'll jump straight into it. I spoke to obviously your trainer Adam Booth about that fight, and he said, look, there's no problem, and he said that you get to receive an offer for that fight. Yeah. But yeah, as you say, when people sort of talk about the narrative of no one wanting to fight Murtazaev, you show you're here and ready to take that shot at the IBF title.
Bro, I'm here. Make the fight. Make the fight.
And what you mentioned there was interesting about the Tom and Jerry fights. And do you feel like, especially with your style, when you do fight someone aggressive, as we see with like a Shakur Stevenson against William Zepeda, that almost brings the best out of you, and you can make it entertaining even with a sort of a pro-defensive style?
Yeah, of course. I mean, some of my best performances have been against guys who come forward like that when I've been at 154. So it's one of them where stars make fights. If everyone's going to stand there and just trade up in the middle of the ring, A, was going to be left with no brains. None of us are going to be able to talk after the end of our careers, which is not going to be very good for any of us. And B, there's not going to be that clash of stars where I know people like the sweet science of boxing, people like the Lomachenkos, people like the Muhammad Ali's, people like the people who move and do things. Not everyone's going to be in there and getting like Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, like Tommy Hearns and Roberto Duran have all got different stars. That's why people watched. If everyone stood there and just had a brawl, then there wouldn't be no skill involved in boxing. So of course you got to have them. I don't know where the Tom and Jerry things come from. I mean, I'm not sure whether people just really running in fights and not that. I agree, that's a big turn off.
I think that's what it is. I think it is a case of like when you've seen certain performances of guys who don't have any ambition to win the sense.
John about the William Skull and Canelo.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it is. Yeah. When you see someone like William Skull, which is the main example.
Well, you can't. That means everyone's now scared to box the way they want to box because they've got to stand there in the centre of the ring. Do you know what I mean? And try and make a show. You can box beautifully on the back foot and still hurt people and still win the fight and still knock people out.
Yeah. How do you think, when you look at Murtazaev, how do you think you fare up against him?
I think I make him look silly. I mean, I've seen him against Jack Kokai, and that was a bad night for him at the office in that fight. So, listen, he's got 2 arms and 2 legs, exactly like me. I'm faster than him. He probably hits harder than us. He's bigger than us, but it's not about that. It's about the IQ, innit? I believe I've got everything to be able to stand him on his head, 100%.
You've got a good WBO ranking, and we'll get on to obviously the talk of Jaron Ennis, but I did want to ask you about the Xander Zayas fight. He obviously recently won the world title this weekend. If you look at him with a world champion, that must be an exciting fight for yourself as well.
I should be fighting him next, really. I should be fighting him next. He was calling me out last year, and at the time, none of us really were anywhere, but now he's got the world title. Come and fight me next. Let me fight you next. I'm the next in the ranking. So there's him, then there's me. So why not get that on? And that's a world title shot.
And another name that Eddie Hearn spoke about making an offer for yourself to fight Jaron Ennis, who's obviously recently moved up to 154. No world title, but obviously you recognise that as a big fight. I guess what can you tell us about this fight? I know I spoke to Adam Booth and he said the offer was derisory. And
the offer's shit. he's done it like you've got to reply in for 24 hours or we're moving to a different opponent. And it weren't Eddie, I think it's Eddie's lawyer who said it. So it's all smoke and mirrors, like, and then they put it out to the media. Listen, I'll take the Jaron Ennis fight 100%. Give me the right money and the right time, I'm there. I'll fight Jaron Ennis. These fights need to be prepared for. You can't just be saying, right, 24 hours, you got this many weeks, you got to fly here, you got this much money. It doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? We're fighters as well, and I'm an established fighter. I'm not just a fighter who's like, oh, he's somewhere in the rankings, so you can just give him that I'm an established fighter, an established name. So it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. How much confidence do you think you take from a fight against Jaron Ennis?
Yeah, I've got a horrible style. He's got a horrible style, but I don't think he's ever boxed anyone similar to himself. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be who breaks the rhythm first. So if he wants to walk us down, play that game, and I can give him a boxing lesson.
Yeah, I know you spoke about it with the Conor Ben fight. You spoke about like Eddie Hearn being a bit bitter towards you for leaving. Do you still feel that's the case, especially with his Boots Ennis fight?
I mean, I don't know why he's not answered the phone, Adam. Like, ring Adam. No, don't go through lawyers and don't put it out there in the media without us knowing. First time I knew about.
Was you disappointed seeing that?
Well, I just first time I knew about it last night. I was like, looked on, and I was like, it's a bit mad, isn't it? I'm not sure if Adam mentioned something previously, like during the day, but I wasn't really listening. And obviously I got that, and then this morning I've come in, I was like, what's all this? And he was like, I'm not sure. I was like, this is crazy, isn't it? It's like, fights getting made without anyone even knowing anything about it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, boy. I'm not disappointed. I just know the way the business works. If you've got a commodity in your Eddie Hearn, you're going to try and work the best way you can for your business asset, in a sense. So yeah.
I feel like that for yourself, as you say, about what it takes to get the best out of yourself, and you must feel like Jaron Ennis, who, you know, arguably people talk about him.
Man, so you hear what he said. That was him, and somebody from his team was speaking about it as well. They both alluded to the deal that, or whatever money was offered, was crap money, shit money, as he put it. So you just don't want to hear that. Only reason I'm saying that, I don't have all the details, but that I played both of those clips because you heard that's him and his team on the same page. They collectively saying that offer was shitty. You know what I mean? And the reason why you don't like it, because it's like deja vu all over again. Not only are you know, Boots has moved up, dropped the titles now. He didn't make the Norman fight that people wanted to see. That wasn't able to happen. Going up, now you got him fighting a guy that people don't really care to see him fight. And we don't need to hear that he being lowballed too. Because it's like, damn, is he really fighting him, or are you just talking about it? So it ain't like he said next. He just said, like, you know, he sent the offer, but he ain't lying about it. They just saying, yo, you gotta send a real offer. They saying that money ain't no good. That money funny. We actually offered to fight Josh Kelly yesterday. I like the fight, and it could be a WBO final eliminator for Xander's Eyes. He tried to throw that extra little Xander's Eyes shit in there next at the end, man, because I don't see that happening. Like, you know what I'm saying? That'd be a ways away. I wouldn't see Boots fighting that dude next after Josh Kelly. And not me. I don't. You know what I'm saying? He make it sound good, but he know that shit ain't next. I wouldn't be the next fight. And just, again, it's funny because Josh Kelly understand the game. He's saying, man, he know that he got a commodity in Boots, and he's just trying to basically sell him the best way he can. So he's just throwing his name out there with different fighters, I guess, see how people respond. But I already knew people would complain about this fight. I mean, shit, if it wasn't one of the top guys, people were going to complain regardless. That's what I feel. So I think it's up for Boots to just do what makes sense. If that's the fight next on the table, go, like I said, scalp him and keep it pushing and go make the kind of fights that you was looking to make. You get me? He's from Sunderland Time. As they said, that's Batman. Y'all crazy. Yeah, man, that at some point that's gonna get old. That story right there, just trying to say everybody price themselves out. Because him and his team, it don't seem like it. They sound like they willing to talk. He said for the right money. His I think that was that his coach. He said he offered him like way less than what he'll make for a 10-round fight, or something like that. So that sounds crazy. I mean, it seemed like they being honest, and we've heard this story before at 47 with like offers. So I just want to see Eddie Hearn keep doing right by Boots. I'm not gonna overreact though. It's still early. Just because you send an offer, you don't mean you can't send a better one, right? So I'm not about to trip. Look, just make the best moves for Boots, man, and keep it pushing, bro. Keep it pushing, because I want to see what he can do up there at 54. He got all the matchups in the world that you can make. Eddie Hearn just got to deliver, man. Just got to deliver for him. But let's keep pushing, bro. Let's keep pushing. Remember, man, we've been seeing Tio and Cory going back and forth a little bit. And Cory mentioned a fight, you know, said something about fighting him. He posted this picture with Tio with blood on his shirt. He said, "That's not my blood." And, you know, Tio released or leaked the weakest sparring footage that I've ever seen in boxing. I got any of these names, like, he should have just kept this to himself. He really should have kept this sparring clip to himself. Let me play it real quick, y'all. He should have kept this one to himself. Taking pictures. Man, he said, "Teach, what's good, Teach?" He said, "I can't believe you scored this. Was all that bad." Right. I could. Till you see what you know, the rest. Yeah, I'm telling you, until you see what the rest of it look like. You know, I ain't saying I know everything, but you know, he could have kept it. I thought he could think he was talented. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna ask him up, man." I like this fight, yo. I tell you, I like this fight. Feel bad. Oh, taking pictures. There's in there, he taking pictures. Nah, y'all in there recording the spar. Shout out to K. What's good with it, family? How you feeling? Yeah, man, it is a little friendly spar, man. But that was the worst footage. He should have kept that shit to himself. Tio bugged out. But look, it just made me want to see the fight more, man. He said, yeah, he tried to say, "I'm taking pictures." Nah, you was recording. His ass is recording, taking pictures. Taking pictures. Bud Cheddar, what it do? I'm taking pictures. Your ass ain't taking no pictures, G. You out here recording on the low, G. Recording on the low, G. And we ain't rocking with it, B. We ain't rocking with it. You're out here and you're recording, B. You know what I'm saying? What you doing, B? You're recording, man. Why you recording me, man? Yeah, you talking about you taking pictures. Why you recording me, man? Why is you recording me, G? Why? But yeah, man, I think he should have kept that to himself, to be real with you. I think he should have kept it to himself, bro. Should have kept it to himself. It's not nothing that it was worth it. It wasn't worth it, bro. It wasn't worth it at all. It just wasn't worth it. He said that was Fed talk and taking pictures. Taking pictures. Man. Papa Lopez, man. But yeah, man, look. All I gotta say about that, if they ever do fight, I think it'd be a cool fight. I think it'd be a good fight for boxing. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a fun fight to watch. I think they styles and matchup, I think, pretty good. It'd be fun. I would like it. You know what I'm saying? I would watch it, bro. I support it. You know what I mean? Tio is very athletic. He's quick twitch, muscles, all that stuff, man. He can make things really interesting. You know what I'm saying? He can make that fight really interesting for sure. You know what I mean? Ultimately, I just think, you know, the more the smarter fighter will pull it off. That's what I feel like. I just think, you know, Tio won't be super athletic and just rely on that solely to get him through the rounds. I think he'll really have to think and go in his bag, which will lead to it being a good fight, because I do think he got a bit of a bag. He can go. Tio can fight. It'll be a fun fight for sure. But I got Cory out thinking him. I don't care if it's at 140. You know what I mean? I seen him struggle with lesser boxers, and keyword boxers, lesser boxers. I think it'll be similar with Cory. Tay, what it do, homie? How you feeling? Yeah, I just jumped on a little early today, man. Jumped on a little early today, y'all. It's almost about the time, though. It's 3 and some change. We're going to cook for a bit more. But, yeah, man, that sparring footage was like the weakest leak I've seen out of all of them, man. He don't next time, don't upload no like that, Tio. Don't do that, Tio, next time. Keep it to yourself, G. That was Tio before Cambosis. Yeah, that was Tio when he was a little ass boy. They both was kids though, young as hell, teenagers and shit. But you know, it's just a fun matchup if they could really put that together. But I just wish Tio didn't burn the bridge. You know, on Turkey side, I would feel better that it could happen because I hear that he said if Turkey had put it together, he'd take the fight. But it's easy to say that, and that's why I say Tio be full of games because, at least to me, because you don't burn the bridge and then expect to be able to cross it again. Like now you willing to work. Like should have thought about that before you was putting out the ignorance that you was putting out and kind of essentially boxing yourself off, putting yourself in a position where you probably won't even be able to get opportunities. He keep moving the way he doing. So we'll see. We'll see. Let's see if Tio put his foot in his mouth one time too many, and if it be the writing on the wall for him. You get what I'm saying? Let's see. Let's keep rolling. I got to talk about this, man. Got to talk about this. Desert Storm. Nah, you know what? We ain't going there. With Desert Storm. We're gonna go B Norman, man. I've been seeing this B Norman and Devin fight going back and forth, man. Some people feel like they're not gonna make it. They think it's a bit of time between now and November 22nd. I don't know. I would like to say I think they all in and trying to make this fight. I would hope so. But let's listen to what Bob Arum said about the fight between Haney and
they have their way and the bill passes and they're able to establish their league. Do you think ultimately it'll be good or bad for boxing?
I think it'll be terrible.
Yeah. And then lastly, Bob, because there's other reporters who want to get to talk to you, just Haney and Norman, great fight. You got Norman defending his title against Haney. They're talking about drug testing, and what do you make of that? And how do you think your guy fares against Haney?
Well, that's why we took the fight, because we think we knock out Haney. I mean, Devin's a very good fighter, but we think Brian is a better one. So it'll be determined in November in the ring, like it should be. But we like the chances of Brian. Very, very good. But Haney is an excellent fighter, so it should be an interesting fight.
Haney is the more decorated, accomplished fighter. So why do you believe Brian gets the job done?
Brian is the young, hot fighter that is the live fighter. Who was the last fighter that Haney knocked out?
Antonio Moran might have been. Antonio Moran here at this theater, I think it might have been. Antonio Moran or Zaur Abdullayev, who fought Murataya to the distance for the IBF. So he stopped him in the 5 round. Well, it was in a different decade.
Yeah, he hasn't had a knockout in a long time. That's the point. So he's a good fighter. He's a good boxer, but I think Brian is the younger guy and the more live fighter.
Well, he quipped, you guys have no network now, because Carl said, look, he's getting ready to run the track meet because Haney was working out at the track. Well, then Haney responded, no network. So I don't know, any response to that?
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know, I mean, I like Devin personally. I like his father. So those are words, and they're perfectly okay because they're not disrespectful.
Thanks for your time, Bob. Thanks, guys.
I mean, it was meant to be disrespectful, Bob, because he tried to say you ain't got no network or nowhere to, no platform, you know what I mean, for Top Rank. That's what he was trying to say. But you see, Bob don't even be caring, bro. They don't be taking none of that shit personal. Look, he said the reason they took this fight is they feel like they're going to knock Haney out. look, I think it's a real possibility. That's a real threat. It's a real danger. I spoke to somebody personally that been working out, putting in work with Brian Norman. Man, he said he putting in that dog work. He taking his opportunity really serious. The stuff that they saying he can't do, that's what he working on. So I think you're gonna see a very committed, confident, dedicated, focused Brian Norman on November 22nd. But I'm interested to see how Devin Haney gonna look in his second fight since the Ryan Garcia situation. I think it's gonna be telling. I think that'll determine a lot. I think that'll speak volumes. I think within the first 3 rounds or so, we should be able to tell what kind of fight this gonna be. Within the first 3 to 4 rounds. If Devin go out there boxing and moving well, staying behind the jab, using his right hand, going to the body, like I know, using that quick footwork, like he's known to do, he gonna be cooking with grease. It'll be an entertaining, interesting fight. Brian Norman, I have his work cut out for him, trying to track him down, cut the ring off, close the distance. You know what I mean? Close the gap and put hands on him. But we're gonna see, because like I said, it's a lot of people that think he ain't gonna make it to this fight, man. They think he ain't gonna make it to the fight, and I'm gonna just sit back and watch. But from what I understand, Devin Haney is putting in some dog work right now too. So you got 2 guys that's ready to work. I think he understands the challenge that's in front of him. We seen him out there doing some work on the track, doing some hurdles or some type of drill, working with his legs. People feel like he's preparing to run from Brian Norman already if you just look at the video, but we'll see, man. I don't know if I don't feel like his stock could afford another performance like the one he had against Ramirez, where he's just moving excessively like that, even though he won. But if you win, I mean, you win at the end of the day. But I think a lot of people going to question him if that's the way he come out of fighting. And I think that's very risky if you fight Brian Norman in that manner, because you're going to have to work. You're going to have to make that fight difficult for him. You're going to have to put something on his mind. You're going to have to keep him at bay, keep him honest. Like, you're going to have to really be able to put hands on him. If you can't do that, bro, you can't do that. Your ass is cooked. You cooked. You cooked if you don't do it. You don't do it, you cooked. He going to beat your ass, and it's going to get bad. So my bad, y'all. Looking at the text. So we're gonna see, man. Just got distracted. We're gonna see if this fight get over the hump, and how this dude look, man. Because doing this,
See how he's down there?
I don't like this. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like this. I don't care for that. I know he's working, but whatever with them damn football drills. He said like wide receiver practice. Hey, it's work though. He putting in the work. You know he's gonna be in shape. But it couldn't be. It was an odd thing to have him on the track, because I knew right what was that they was gonna go with. They're gonna say he was running from people. He gonna prepare to run, and he on that track. But I don't think that's gonna be enough. If you look at Brian Norman, he been working too. He was in the ring, shadow boxing and whatnot, loosening up, and he looked like his feet are a lot faster and better than what people think they are. He got a lot more educated feet than what he getting credit for. And I think that could be a miscalculation, going in there just assuming that he's some inexperienced guy that can't keep up with you. You know what I mean? Don't make that mistake. He's every bit of an athlete as you are, and he younger, a little bit younger, strong as hell. He an ox, bro, and he don't know how to lose right now. So keep all that in mind. Jordan, my dog, was good with it, bro. Trying out for an NFL team. Yeah, it looked funny, right? Look like he about to start running some routes. You know what I mean? Take off and start running some damn routes. But, you know, leave it to Dev. He always in top shape. So let's see. But, you know, the guy that behind him is they've been making all this talk about VADA testing and people extra testing, 365, this and that. But the guy that he had behind him in the video is one of those guys that was banned. He got a lifetime ban, the dude he got behind him.
See how he's down there? Ping off of it. Ping off of it.
Faster,
Ping off of it.
Oh!
My bad. I didn't even know I was muted. My bad, y'all. Said Devin Haney, downfall 47 be a lack of skill when it comes to inside fighting. Yeah, I think he'll have some issues there. And when you got to stand his ground, Jordan, he got talent, he can box, but it's how he gonna utilize it, right? Sometimes you gotta adjust to the weight class. I feel like, right? He was fighting a certain way with the smaller guys. Can you still fight that same exact way without having to make some adjustments and still be as successful? You know, that still remains to be seen. Right now, if we had to answer that I'll be leaning toward it being no. But he won in, you know, Ryan fights really don't count, but it do in a way is weird. But he beat Ramirez. Now I'm looking to see what he can add to his game from that performance, right? Because I think if he does that against, if he fights that kind of fight against Brian Norman, I think he'll get clipped eventually. I think Brian Norman is athletic enough, fast enough, smart enough, and he's strong enough to clip him and hurt him. I don't think, you know, when he get in front of him, I don't think he's going to be hesitant to throw. He throws some real sharp, tight hooks. I'm telling you, man, he going to have to fight a damn near perfect fight, yo. I'm telling you, I think so. I'm not even trying to be funny. I think you're going to have to fight a really, you know, close to perfect fight. I'll say that. He ain't going, his margin for error is not going to be a wide margin at all. I think he really gonna want to put rounds in the bank early. He gonna want to fight from a distance, bro. If you allow B Norman to get up on you, bro, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly, bro. That shit gonna get ugly. He get up on you, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad. So 147 is not gonna be no easy sledding, bro. He gonna really have to bring his lunch pail and go to work, bro. You know, and you know what? His game plan is gonna have to be even better. Cause again, you can't afford to go out there and just like move around. You can't do that with everybody, bro. Some guys gonna get you up out of there. Some guys you gonna get hit. You gonna take punishment. You gonna get hit. You gonna have to do something different. You're gonna have to. Barrow's the perfect landing spot for Devin Haney. He should be really considered a Hitchens fight. I'm telling you, Africa would took that B side absolutely. Africa, I think, is too risky right now, too. Shit, with Brian Norman was risky, but, you know, Devin looked like he's willing to fight these guys. So, but, yeah, I think you're right, Remo. That's a fight he should pursue because I think it's a win that he could get if he can get past Norman now. You know what I'm saying? So, I can't wait to see it, man. So, you know, we in July, August, September, October. You got a little while. You know what I mean? People feel like it's a lot of time between now and November, man. Anything can happen, man. Dudes could end up pulling up out of fight or something or finding a way out. You remember it was all that testing talk. People wasn't feeling the testing talk. You know what I'm saying? They felt like they was looking for a way out. B. Norman hopped on that immediately. Said he don't mind doing no testing. He a clean athlete. And he was with it. He was with it. Now it ain't nothing else stopping them from fighting. I think it's just time for both fighters to lock in, keep training, work on their game plan, and getting the weight off. And truth be told, when Brian Norman got into the little scuffle with Team Haney, he looked like he was in closer to the weight than Haney was. And remember, Haney kept saying you look small or whatever. I'm like, nah, it ain't that he's small. It's that he ain't big. He ain't blow up in between his fights. And I think that's going to work, you know, in his favor. I think it's going to work in his favor. He's going to be able to focus more on the game plan and strategy rather than having to cut weight. And Brian Norman don't look like I never seen him out of shape. So I think he's going to just continue to do what he's been doing, bro. I really do. I think he's going to continue to do exactly what he's been doing. And I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. But for real quick, while we wrap up, is he a cherry pick? Nah, I don't think Brian Norman's a cherry pick. I think people got to pump their brakes with that. Is he a new champion? Yeah. But he got some experience under his belt. Not as much as Devin, but that's okay. At the end of the day, I think he was looked at as the other best. It was between him and Boots. That was going to be the best fight at welterweight. Boots moved out. So you heard what Devin Haney said, man. He fought the most dangerous guy there in Brian Norman. And I think dangerous is the right way to describe what Brian Norman is as a fighter. I think you're going to have gonna have his hands full with him, and he's going to have to do something. You're going to have to fight his ass off, bro. That's not going to be an easy fight for him at all. It won't be. So he really going to have to strap in and fight a disciplined, smart, educated fight. But he got to pick. He's going to have to find a medium between, you know, movement and standing his ground and taking chances, right? You're going to have to, it's going to be a balancing act for Devin, man. And how he performs is going to determine how people look at him from here on out. I know got his hard that strategic picking, but you know what, Big Haas? They got similarities, bro, because they both started in Mexico. They both was young. They started in Mexico. They fought several fights over there in Mexico and fought on, you know, on a much smaller stages before getting recognized. You know what I'm saying? They got some similarities, man. But Devin was very strategic, but smart, though, because I always give Bill a lot of credit for being smart. I think Bill is a smart businessman. I really do. You know what I mean? And that don't mean you never going to make a mistake in doing business, but I think overall Bill has been a smart guy. He's moved his son the right way. He's taking the right fights at the right time. And that's not a knock or nothing like that. He's been smart about it. They've been smart as a team, Devin. They pick the fights, win the fights. And this is a gamble right here. This is another risk. You know, Ryan was a risk. We see how that worked out. You know, it's a no contest now. Now we got Brian Norman. Brian Norman is also a risk. You know what I'm saying? So let's see how this work out. It's a gamble for him. Anything can happen, too. Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen between now and then. But his game plan going to have to be spectacular. You know what I'm saying? For him to win this fight. It's going to have to be spectacular, I think. Because I'm just thinking about the times where you got to take chances. Brian Norman got enough speed, good reflexes. He has good power. Like, he got good technique to his punches, man. Good punch placement. He got a heavy ass jab. He got some shit that ain't good, man. That ain't good if he get to landing on you, man. Yeah. Yeah, Dev. No, you talking about last 3 fights. I'm talking about their entry into the sport. They got more similarities than you would probably realize with how they started. But as far as the last 3 fights, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, he had, what is it, Loma, Regis, and Ryan? Oh, no. No, I'm going back too far. You got Ramirez, Ryan, then Regis. Shit, Ryan wasn't in his favor. We thought it was supposed to be, but it wasn't. It wasn't. But I get the point you're trying to make. You feel like you feel like Brian Norman had the tougher road. But I'll say this, man. You only can fight who's in front of you, right? Or who's in your division. I think Devin got a couple solid wins. A few solid wins, not a couple, a few, right? You got a solid resume to me. You know what I mean? I just felt like the advantages that he had over people physically have made people kind of overlook his wins, right? They feel like a lot of the reason he did it is because you know, he had the size advantage, or these guys being older. You know what I'm saying? So if nobody want to smoke Big Rolo, was Rolly's cool. Somebody said, I think it was the boxing boys. Somebody called in and said they got Rolly knocking out Fundora, bro. I was like, yeah, they losing your damn mind. You think Rolly will knock out Fundora, man? I don't see that. I think Rolly get Peter beat up. It looked like he got jumped the way Fundora put hands on that man. I think. Cottage 81 Autism Boy. What's good? What he said? Looking like the bookies currently got Brian Norman. A slight favorite. Yeah, that's something. That's the one of the last things I wanted to mention. Brian Norman is because I thought initially they had Devin Haney the favorite. I could have sworn somebody said that, but now as it is, it's Brian Norman that's you know what I mean, the favorite now, and Devin Haney, man. So y'all Devin Haney fans, y'all looking to make some money, y'all gonna bet on y'all boy. Y'all might make some cheddar, man. But look, that's gonna be a dangerous fight. It's a challenge for both guys. Brian Norman is going, I think, give Dev all he can handle, honestly. And if he makes the wrong kind of mistake, that's gonna be his ass. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, I respect him. Win, lose, or draw. Devin got my respect. Even before this fight, I've always respected him, man. Despite who he fought, man, the kid getting there and boxing, he worked extremely hard. So I know a lot of people ain't a fan of his style, but I don't mind his style. He's a pure boxer, and it's always gonna be a place in boxing for pure boxers. You know what I'm saying? So let's see it, man. But Brian Norman ain't no cherry pick. He a legit champion. They counted him out multiple times, and they counted wrong each time. He's still here, and I think he'll be here when the smoke clear. That's going to be a good fight. Whether or not it play out in a 50-50 fashion remains to be seen, but we'll see. But with that, man, I just wanted to pop on early, talk a little bit of boxing. Come holler at the fam. I appreciate all y'all rocking out with me, man. If I don't come back on later today, I will see all of y'all tomorrow at our time, and we're going to keep building on the sport of boxing. So with that, much love, much appreciation to everybody. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Peace to the fam.
Representing Brick City, Shakur!
Finding those levels, too. Look at that four-punch combination. It's a masterclass right now from Shakur Stevenson. That's what you're seeing, a masterclass. And Shakur meeting them with straight left hand.
Oh, there's a knockdown scored with the left hand.
From Patterson, New Jersey, please welcome the sweet Terminator, Jusdueboxing.
Make sure y'all subscribe to Jusdueboxing, the best boxing talk.
Probably the most unbiased channel on YouTube.
Right now, we're gonna give him his just due. Shout out to my brother Just